Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for Saturday, December 9th. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting. And we should say congratulations to Mr. Goodman. Gave you the pick 4 last week, nailing that. The tricky one was nailing the first-time starter on the first leg, and we both, if we had followed our normal procedure, we'd have both hit it because we'd have just used all, but we tried to keep the ticket more affordable, and you picked, of your 6 horses, you had the right one. So good job.
That's right. You had 6 and I had 6. Well, thanks. Every once in a while it works out. I was hoping for a bigger payout because that was a $32 horse to start. It got pretty chalky after that. But I felt like Sharp Azteca was a lock, and he looked really good.
Yes, he was very impressive. And all the horses coming out of the Breeders' Cup, not just in that race, but the others, showed up very well. So it'll be something to think about as we see them show up here in the next few weeks in other spots out west or down south. We're going to go down south today to the New Orleans, to the fairgrounds for our podcast races. We're going to focus in on Louisiana Champions Day, and we're going to talk about the late pick 4 and focus in on the Classic, which is 1 1/8 miles for 3-year-olds and up. And I thought a nice betting race, no, I didn't see a standout in here. I actually took kind of an unusual pick, but let's see where you went in the Classic.
Well, when I first looked at it, I thought that Mobile Bay was a standout. But then after I looked a little longer, I mean, he's been off for 10 months now, and even though he won the race last year, I think he's vulnerable here. I think you have to use him. But I actually went up going to McGee's, the 2-horse on the not on the inside, but the 2-horse for Delmar Caldwell. I'm not familiar with Delmar Caldwell, but I looked at some of the stats there. And going turf to dirt, he is 38%. So that helps. Horse is in really good form right now. Nice prep race last time out. Only got beat by 3/4 length. So I'm gonna go with McGee's. I don't have a strong opinion here, but he's got some dirt numbers that certainly fit. And the other thing that when we're handicapping this entire card, as we're reporting this, New Orleans got drenched on Thursday. So they've got a rain snow band coming through there just north of there in the morning, so it may be a sloppy track, and if that happens, McGee's is 2 for 5 on a wet track and moves way up, I think, with a 401 wet number. Also going to use extra credit the 8 under pressure. The 7 won Delta at odds on, moving way up in class, and the horse called Grand Basin, the 6-horse, also loves fairgrounds. Been around a long time. 6 for 16 at fairgrounds, but anytime you won 6 races on that racetrack, you've got to look. And the distance may be a problem for him, but I think he's got a shot as well. But my pick is McGee's. Got to use Mobile Bay, and Mobile Bay may win by 5. He may be ready off that playoff, but I'm going to take a chance that he's not ready and try to play against him.
I am going outside the box here for the filly, Seaside Candy, and the reasoning is that it's a smart person doing something that makes you scratch your head. So I'm going to have faith here in Al Stall because this seems like an odd spot at first glance for this horse, but Stall's on fire at the meet. And he claimed this horse in August, and obviously he knew he was going to be at the fairgrounds, and he knew this was coming up, and he gave this horse some time off, and she came back with a dramatically improved buyer of 81 and was a winner. And that just has all the looks, just to see when he claimed her, knowing this day was coming, this just has a look of like, okay, I think she can win on Champions Day. Let's claim this filly, get a race in her, and then maybe see this was the best spot. I don't know whether it's the distance he likes or the competition or what, but I'm just going to, on that angle, to take a play here, and I think I'll get a good price on this one, Seaside Candy, the 5, and then most of the ones you mentioned, Mobile Bay, Under Pressure, Grand Basin, were the first ones I listed, and then I've got to throw extra credit in there too, the 8, just out of respect for Brad Cox. So I'm not going to take a strong stand in the pick 4 on Seaside Candy though, because I'm going to use all 5 of those horses I just mentioned in the pick 4. I am going to single in the next leg, the Champions Day Sprint, and stand him up. 94 buyer figure in the first start off a short layoff, 4 for 6 at the fairgrounds. The 4 Giacomo Song intrigues me as well, but to keep the ticket affordable, I'm going to single the 3 here, stand me up off that big buyer figure last time. In the 12th race, I'm going to go 4 deep with My Miss Chiff, Wheatfield, Electrocutioner, and Sunny Oak. And then, I have no strong opinion on the last leg. I'm going to use Nippy Red, Charge the Line, Violent Ways, Bitsy's a Fleet, and 4Gs. So that's 4, 9, 11, 1, and 12. And I'm going to just throw in one thing on the 12. This horse should be a huge price, but horse showed really good speed. It was right up on the lead and then faded. And sometimes you see a horse first time out that shows speed, and even if he or she doesn't sustain it, those horses often come back and run well the next time when they've shown that they've got some early speed like this one did. So I'm going to take a look in there and throw 4Gs into the mix as well. So 5 by 1 by 4 by 5 for me, that's $50 for 50 cents. How about you?
The 11th, I agree with you on stand him up. And one problem about the pick 4 is you don't get to watch the first race before you pick the second race. But Grand Basin, if he runs big in that in the race before in the Classic, that makes stand him up look a lot better there because he beat him last time out. So Grand Basin comes back in a bigger race. I'm going to use more than one though. I'm going to also use Giacomo's Song. I think 1, 2 in a row. Michael said it was 33% this meet, not quite as hot as out of stall, but almost. And I'm also going to throw in the 6 Newman Ridge. Not sure that it's good enough to get there, but has 1, 2 in a row, and that $100,000 race at Delta sets them up well for this one. So I'm going to use 3, 4, 6 there. The next race, I really like Sunny Oak. I think if you look at that last race they all came out of, which was the Happy Ticket. My Miss Chef won it. Wheatfield ran second, and Sunny Oak is the other one I'm using from that race. Got stopped at the start and bumped hard, checked is what the Daily Racing Form says, so had no chance at 3-1. So I'm going to use Sunny Oak there, the 1. Also going to use My Mischief, the 4, and then the 8, I think it's Wheatfield. And if it's sloppy, I'll also use the 10 horse because the 10 horse moves way up. Look into my eyes on a sloppy track 2 for 2 and a big wet number. And then in the 13th, I'm like you, Bitsy's a Fleet had some great works the last couple times out. There's a 47-1, 4 furlongs, the first of 102 at the distance, and then came back with a 1 minute flat. So working very well for a trainer who does pretty well, but doesn't have a lot of horses. And then I'm going to also use Nippy Red, the 4, and the 11 Violent Ways. I am never going to not use a Violence horse in a 2-year-old race the rest of the year because he's done so well. You overlook him. I can't believe one at Turfway the other night paid $32. So I'm going to use the 1, 4, 11. So my pick 4 is 1, 3, 6, 8 with 3, 4, 6 with 1, 4, 8 with a parenthesis around the 10 if it's a muddy track, and then 1, 4, 11. So that would be $72 if I use the 10 in the third leg.
Best of luck with your wagers on the Saturday card. Be you playing at Fairgrounds or somewhere else. And we'll be back next week for another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.